Hey everybody, Rob Cootie here, the MLM Solution. I hope everybody's having a great day. Today is June 1st. Currently, 10:55 a.m. and really 10 seconds after. Trying to be exact as I can. June 1st. Today is June 1st. Can you believe that? All right, Tuesday, June 1st. As you know, we go live each and every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we ask as always, that you help us get the word out about our platform, our show, our website, our information. We are here to help you guys, and you can help us by simply taking a few seconds to hit the share button, make a comment, hit the thumbs up, the like, the dancing bears, the clapping women, dancing women, whatever all that is. Because the algorithms love interaction and engagement. Please help us out. When you engage with us, it helps get this information out in front of people on the social media platforms. All right, enough of that. If you will, please go to our website as well. The numbers have been absolutely mind-boggling. The MLMsolution.net, the MLMsolution.net. And today, as you know, 191, can you believe it? 191, one of the hardest things you'll ever do. What are we talking about? Well, on the surface, you would think, oh, no, network marketing is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Well, that's true. But there's some other things you'll be doing that is hard to do as well. And you know what? Being mentally prepared for these challenges can help you overcome them. And that way you can utilize this great business model, do wonderful things for you and your family. But you got to be mentally tough. So we're going to be talking about many different aspects of the hardest thing you ever do. Okay. So with that being said, join us today at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as we cover this all-important subject. We'll see you in a moment. I've rambled enough. I'll get over here. We'll talk in a minute.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, everybody. Rob here. Yes, Miss Marie is not with us again today. As I said, she's on the road. And sometimes when she's on the road, getting internet access is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So once again, we're without her, and that's quite all right. We are quite capable of filling in for her. We can never replace her, but on a temporary basis, we can certainly fill in for her, right? And here, as you can see, Nina's coming to join us. That's my great cat that you saw come into the picture. She's going to try and help out and do her part in making this show a success. There's the tail to help bring a little enjoyment and entertainment to our listeners and our viewers. All right, with that being said, today, as I said, is a very important subject, one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And I do realize that on the show intro image, it says hardiest, HARDIEST, hardiest things you'll ever do. And I'm the one that creates those. And sometimes I'm doing it at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And the point is sometimes the misspellings get past you. So I'm the guilty party, but that's okay. That happens, right? And I'm anal to where I wanted to fix it, but I was like, no, I got too much to do. That one little typo is not going to be that big of a deal. So I've learned to not let those things bother me like I did in the past. I used to be very anal about that. And that can be a good and it can be a bad thing. In the military, you had to become very detail oriented. You had to dot your I's, cross your T's, watch your P's and your Q's, as they said, because they wanted things to be right the first time. And I understand that. So for 20 plus years, I had a high standard that I had to live up to on a regular basis, especially as I went up in rank. And so I got that ingrained in me, not that my parents didn't, but when I was around my parents, I was a stupid young man, as most young people do, thinking we owned the world. So with that being said, the military straightened me out of that. All right. So since we've gotten that past us, let's talk about today's subject, podcast number 191. One of the hardest things you'll ever do. What in the world are we talking about? And if you notice, before we get started, I almost forgot. We had a new intro. We're going to have a new outro as well. And that's one of the, we'll be doing some tests, and there'll be a little bit of difference. Sometimes there might be a dramatic difference in the intros and outros because we're moving forward. June 1st was our target date for a lot of new stuff. Very shortly this week, I was hoping to have it done today, but the last 2 days, Sunday and Monday, the wife and I have been spending some time together, which we don't get a chance to do as much as we'd like. And so I put everything on hold, and I had a target date of June 1st, and I got most of it done. But I have made a studio downstairs, if you will, and I wanted to test that out this past weekend. Did not get a chance. So that's another change that's coming, and there's a number of other changes going to be happening here very shortly. So exciting things happening, and it's all because of you guys. It's all because of you. We're trying to service you in a way that's unlike anything else out there. And it won't be long that Miss Marie and I will be together for a year, and that's awesome. And we did not know what to expect when we started this. We know nothing about podcasting. We just got ourselves together and started doing it. And we didn't know if it was going to catch on. We didn't know if there was a real audience. We know there's a need, but just because there's a need doesn't mean you have an audience. And we both, as you know, are advocates of the industry. We both want people to understand how it really works versus the way people are telling you it works. As I told you before, there's a lot of pretenders out there, and those pretenders will act like they know everything about the business model. And as you can see, through 190 episodes so far, we have brought much more than anyone else has to the table for you, so that you can access this great information anytime, anywhere, 24/7, and learn how this business really works. What a wonderful thing to have, right? And that's the power of technology, and it's the power of the internet. So we have reached out to the world through these mediums, and we ask all the time for your help. And we will continue to ask. Repetition and the repetitive message will help eventually make things happen. And once again, as you can see on the ticker, all of you listening on the podcast, on the ticker is our website, themlmsolution.net. And also we have the hashtag #TheMLMSolution. And over the course of this week, you're going to see a lot of things during the show. They're going to be different, and it's all good. It's time to move into a different direction. Finally, tomorrow's subject is going to be one of the most satisfying things you'll ever do. What are we talking about there? On the surface, you say, being successful in network marketing is going to be one of the most satisfying things I've ever done. I think that's true for most people, but that's not the only thing that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So with that being said, let's get off of that, and just want to let you know what tomorrow's subject is. And as you know, guys, we have a podcast replay page, just so you know. And if you have a long weekend like we had this past weekend, for most people, and you're wanting to expose yourself to even more information about this great industry, all you got to do is go to our podcast replay, and you will see where there's the past week podcast on there and the most current podcast. And also, you're going to have a free gift. And when you fill out the form, there's going to be no shenanigans whatsoever. We're not going to try to sell you anything. You're going to get access to the flavor of the day or the week, whatever the case may be, for a gift. Okay. And that's something that we want you guys to know, that there's no shenanigans. We're not going to try and sell you anything. We'll contact you and say, hey, here's another free gift that you might be interested in. We'll do that, but we are not going to bombard your email system, and we're not going to be trying to sell you anything. All right. Okay. So with that being said, as you know as well, the lead site is coming along just fine. So far, I've got to contact people not contact people. I've got to talk to people today as we continue to move forward. It is a challenge, but we're making progress, and that is what we're looking for, continuous progress. And finally, don't ever forget what not to do in network marketing. Normally $197. Guess what? Right now, for the next 24 hours, only $47. Guys, that's an instant $150 savings. Who does not like saving money? Especially on business-changing information like this. 146 paragraphs on 146 pages. No, I did not plan that. It just worked out that way. All right, 146 audio files that supports and expands the points that each and every paragraph is making. We use real-life examples to elevate your knowledge through these real-life examples on these audio files. So how powerful is that? To have the written word backed up and expanded by the verbal word. And you have many training videos to go with that as well, plus a lot of free bonuses. Okay, and the bonuses are well worth the package alone. So only $47. Everybody, for the most part, can afford $47. All right, so that's a no-brainer when you consider all the bonuses that come with it. All right. Now, with that being said, today's subject, once again, is a really good one. 191, podcast 191, racing towards that magical 200 episode. I'm looking so forward to that. It's hard to believe that it will be 200 that we've done so far. Whew. All right, so one of the hardest things you'll ever do. What are we talking about? Well, of course, on the surface, we're going to be talking about building your business is going to be one of the most difficult and challenging and hardest things you have ever done. Okay, and you say, Rob, you say it's 5 simple steps. It is. Absolutely. That'll never change. You know that. The 5 simple steps are the basics of the business building process. So that will always be the same, whether we say it or not. And 100 years after Marie and I are gone, guess what? The 5 simple steps are still going to be there. Why? Because they're the basics of the business building process. All right. So the truth never changes. That being said, building this business, even though it's simple in nature, is going to be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Okay. And you might say, well, Rob, why do you say that? Guys, not only is it physically draining, it's mentally draining. It's going to put a real strain on your relationships. It's going to put a real strain on your marriage. It's going to put a real strain on your time that you have available during the day. It is going to put sometimes with some of you a financial strain. With others of you, it's going to help you face some of the demons that we all possess. And I don't mean evil, bad demons. I mean, we all have, procrastination. We have lack of organizational skills. In other words, we don't manage our time well. Our office is a complete mess. We don't know where anything is. I could go on and on and on. You get the point. This business model forces you to change. Look, you have to be a great organizer. Okay. Well, I shouldn't say great. You got to be very adequate. Okay. Proficient. There's the word, proficient organizer. You have to keep your appointments. You have to be on time. Okay. You're going to have to spend money, whether it's because of gas, because of coffee that you're buying for your prospects, little snacks for your prospects. Maybe you're renting this or renting that. Guys, your business, because it is a business. Okay. The bad thing is with humans is that they think, well, if I give this much, I'll get this much in return. I really don't want to give anything if I can help it, but by golly, I guess I have to do this much. That really sucks. And it's unfortunate how this business model attracts people who are trying to cheat the system, who are trying to get something for nothing, have the lottery mentality. Okay, I don't want to work for $1 million. I don't want to come up with an idea for $1 million. I want to win it through the lottery. Okay, or I want to inherit it. I'll let my parents or my uncle or my aunt, I'll let them work their tail ends off and create that fortune. And then when they die, I've won it. Okay. There's a lot of people, I know people personally that sit around and wait for their huge inheritance. And I know a few that have huge inheritances coming their way. I'm trying to think of a good way to put it. Okay. And these individuals, to be honest with you, are challenged mentally and as well as everything else. They have real personality issues, and they work reluctantly, and they're not always very pleasant. It's a miserable life for them. And I've seen many like that. And I know everybody's not like that. Absolutely not. So I only bring that up because people want something for nothing sometimes, or they want to put in as little as possible, but they want the maximum return, and they'll be upset if they don't get the maximum return, or if somebody's not helping them get the maximum return. They're like, hey, you're not doing your part. You're not doing your job. Hey, you're not supporting me. And then what they do is they try to make you feel guilty. They try to make you bend knee to their desires and wants and needs. And if it making you feel guilty and bad is part of getting what they want, they'll do it without hesitation. And you say, well, what's that got to do with this business model and this podcast? It's got everything to do with it, because you have to realize, as we told you, the music to the ears message either attracts people, the high quality people you need, or it pushes them away. Because the people that don't want to work, the people that want something for nothing, the people that feel entitled, they're going to be pushed away, because they're going to realize right away that they're going to have to do some work. Okay, especially if it means talking and contacting people. Oh no, I can't do that. You know what? I'm going to be inheriting a lot of money in the next 3 or 4 years. I'll just hang out. Okay. Now, the point is that I'm making real extreme examples from one to the other. In other words, you're going to end up sponsoring some people that want this, and they're going to take off right away, regardless of whether Rob's going to do anything, and they're going to rock it through this thing because they see it for what it is, and they get it, and they're like, hey, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Get out of my way. I'm going for it. And every once in a while you hear from them and you support them, and they're going to go out and build this big business. And that's awesome. Okay, those are the type of people that you want, that you hear from every once in a while, just to ask clarifying questions or supportive questions, and then they move on in their business building process. So, guys, here's the thing. One of the hardest things you're ever going to do, yeah, because it's not only going to, like I said, force you to be a great time manager. You're going to have a family. You're going to have a job, more than likely. If you don't have a job, you're going to have money challenges. You may not be the type of person that's great at talking to people, but guess what? You're going to have to learn to do that, like I did. You may be in a very rural area. You may not be close to a large metropolitan area. And guess what? You're going to have to do what? Figure out how you're going to continue to get a constant source of high quality leads, because you want to do it locally as well as, I apologize, guys. I had no idea the phone was on. I am so sorry. How rude is that, right? Man. All right. We can tell it's a Tuesday, which replaced Monday. But at least we're not having internet issues. Thank God we don't have any gremlins today. It seems like it happens when me and Marie are on. All right. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. It's going to force you to really sit down and look at your weaknesses. You know, hey, I'm not the greatest time management type person, but I have a family, I have a job, I have a spouse that I need to really pay attention to. I've got a few other things that I need to finish up before I start doing this thing. And once I start building this business, I really need to dedicate myself to carving out time on a daily basis to make this business go. And then I have to be dedicated and disciplined enough to do it. If I set 2 or 3 hours off in the evening, I need to make those 2 or 3 hours as productive as possible, meaning that I have to be proficient. I have to have the names in front of me. I have to have information on those people in front of me. I have to know where they are in the funnel, the sponsoring funnel, so that I can have the proper documentation in front of me. I have to know who I'm talking to, where they are in that funnel. Okay, I have to be prompt in my follow-up. I have to stay disciplined. I have to have my little timer that'll go off and say, hey, we've been on here for 20 minutes. I got to go. You see what I'm saying? All of that has to be organized before you ever pick up the phone to make that call. And making that call can be one of the hardest things you'll ever do, even on a follow-up. Okay, and that's what's so powerful about the lead site. The lead site gives you the ability to have a constant source of pre-qualified, high-quality leads. And you're like, well, what do you mean? Because when they go through the site, not only do they see and hear you in the video, they're developing a bond with you. When they hear you on the phone, they immediately recognize the voice. And if they don't, they'll say, well, I don't think that I understand how you got my information. Well, you went to the site. Well, I'm not sure. I'll go to a lot of sites. No, the purple and gold site. Oh, yes. See, that's the reason why the colors are the way they are. Okay. And so the I need leads now. Yeah, I remember now. And okay. And so when the memory is jarred, they're immediately going to have in their mind a picture of you because they saw you in these videos. And then the message that you were relaying in those videos and on the information that was on the site is now going to come rushing back. And they're going to immediately say, oh, okay, yeah, this is the person that has that site. This is somebody that I wanted to talk to. So there's this immediate relaxation taking place between you and this person you've never talked to before. And they're willing to talk to you and accept a conversational tone in this environment, this, how would you say, sterile environment. And I don't mean sterile like cold and uncaring, sterile by the fact they don't know you, but they're willing to trust you because they saw your video, they heard your voice, they can envision who you are because they saw you. They have so-and-so type hair, you have a ponytail, you wore this kind of dress or this kind of shirt or blah, blah, blah. In other words, all of that is coming back and they're going, okay, I can relax because this person is someone I've already been exposed to and someone I felt comfortable with. I really liked what they talked about on that site. I'm willing to have this conversation because I want to learn more. All right. So they're pre-qualified. How great is that, right? Those kind of calls are not hard to make because you already know that they are a pre-qualified lead. And you actually look forward to calling those people because you know there's already a rapport with you. And guys, it worked like a champ when I was testing this. It worked like a champ, all right? So the point is then you have to be disciplined enough to stay with your checklist. You know, when you follow up with somebody, there's certain things you got to say. There's certain questions you have to ask. There's certain questions they're going to have for you that you have to answer. And then to bring a follow-up process to a conclusion, you have to remember on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your interest level? Okay, and if you have to have that laid out in front of you on a piece of paper while you're on a video call, while you're on a telephone call with them, so be it. But the point is, you have to be disciplined enough if you've never been before. And if you say to yourself, I've never led people before, I'm a worker bee, I'm not a leader, I don't want to be in management. You know what? I don't want people coming to me. I just want to go in and do my job. Guys, those things have to be overcome. And that's what I'm saying. When you have to change, it can be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. This business is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Why? Because it's not because of the work. It's because of the changes that you yourself have to go through. And here's the thing. That's the reason why I'm Marine. I always tell you guys, don't compare yourself to your peers or your friends or anyone else that may have joined this business the same day you did, or you joined in a tandem, or a friend down the street got in 6 months before you and they're tearing it up. Guys, we did an episode, I think of last week or maybe 8-9 days ago, don't fall for the comparison trap. Okay, why? Because it'll wear you down emotionally. You'll be like, I'm not worthy. I'm not as good as Marie. I can't do what she's doing. You know what? I think I'll just quit because there is no way. And I see Marie when I take my dogs for a walk and we talk and we have for a long time and we're very good acquaintances. We may even be friends, But here's the thing, I would be embarrassed. Hopefully she won't ask me any questions because I am nowhere near what she is. Okay. And matter of fact, maybe I should just quit because I'm not going to be able to measure up to what she's doing. And she's just right down the street. Guys, you cannot let that play with your mind. This is a long game, not a short game. Okay. There's a lot of people that come out of the gate and do very well, but that doesn't mean they stick around long term. It's whoever sticks around long term that wins. It's at the end, and when you decide to leave that company or retire, whatever, it's at the end that you can do what? The comparison. Or you can do the checklist. Did I do great? Did I accomplish my goals? You know, and that is the satisfaction checklist, if you want to use that term, to look back and say, yeah, I did great. Okay. But it all started with all those challenges that are staring you in the face when you took that first business building step towards your goals. Nobody here has ever done a 90-day mini blast. That is challenging. That's physically and mentally challenging. And once again, it puts a premium on your time management, puts a premium on your organizational skills. It puts a premium on your daily management abilities. And you might say, well, what do you mean by that? Because you got to juggle family and a job and church and sports activities for your kids and build a business. Okay. That is management at an extreme level. Okay. All right. Yes, some people have very high level management, no doubt about it. But you're talking about the most valuable things you have, your family. Okay. You're going to talk about pressure. That's pressure. Delivering what your family needs is a lot of pressure, and probably one of the greatest jobs you'll ever have, and one of the most daunting jobs you'll ever have. I don't care if you're the president of a company. Yeah, because the company is all about dollars. It's all about that profit. But your family is about life. You'll see, if you don't know that now, you'll see that as you get older. Your family is about life. They're the most important things in your life. They came from your loins, guys. They are the result of you coming together with someone you love to produce this wonderful human being that you raised and will develop a special bond with for the rest of your life. Okay. That's one of the hardest jobs you'll ever have. That's one of the most daunting jobs you'll ever have. Okay. And really, it's not a job. It's a labor of passion, right? Or labor of love. I mean, and it's your passion. I know it was for me. Okay. But the thing is, I also, when I saw the network marketing business model, I said, this is the way for me to complement my retirement. This is a way for me to be able to get into real estate. This is a way for me to build a successful business and have something I can be proud of, something that will produce tangible results. And if you notice, I ain't even talked about the lifestyle, because all those things were important to me prior to that. The lifestyle was one of the last things. Yes, I'd love to be on the beach. Okay. Yes, that was a motivating factor for me, but it wasn't the only factor. Okay. My real passion was real estate and investing. I mean, I just like making money. But the thing is that network marketing wasn't necessarily a passion back then. It was just a tool for me to get the money that I needed to do the things I wanted to do. And it was really kind of throwaway money, meaning that if I made a boo-boo and screwed it up, guess what? It was found money, in my opinion. It wasn't coming out of my paycheck. It was coming out of my, my rainy day fund, if you will. You know, here I'm building up this cash reserve. And if I choose to spend that money on the cash reserve to advertise my business, to expand my business, to do this, to do that, and it doesn't work out, guess what? That's okay. I didn't hurt my retirement. I didn't lose my job. I didn't lose my family. All I did was spend money that I had created that was above and beyond my living expenses, which is great because it didn't hurt my family. It didn't affect my family's lifestyle. So yeah, I'm building this business, and even if I'm only getting $300 to $500 a month, guess what? I was very proud of that, because it's a business that I was able to build from scratch to have a constant $300 to $500 a month. And that helped a lot. So there's a lot of things to be very satisfied about as you look back. Okay. But it all starts with those hard things that you have to do. So let's kind of recap a little bit. We all know the 5 simple steps are simple. We all know that. there's nothing hard about the 5 simple steps. Okay, the hardest part is getting started, and that's because a lot of people are afraid. And there's an old saying, there's nothing to fear other than fear itself. I'm paraphrasing, but you get it. Okay, and the thing is that that's so true. I catch myself doing it. When I do, guess what? I just burst through. I just put my head down and say, oh crap, you know what? I'm hesitating because I'm thinking about it. And I say, what do I need to do? And then, Rob, you need to pick that up and move it from one side 2 inches over to the other side. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. Well, Rob, there's a bunch of alligators there. I'm not going to worry about those alligators. I won't slip. I won't fall. They're not going to get me. I'm going to move that thing 2 inches the way I'm supposed to. And I do. Okay, I put my head down and I do it. If I think about those alligators and the possibility that I may fall into that pit, well, guess what? I'm not going to move that all-important thing from one side to the other, okay? And moving that thing from one side to the other could be life-changing. So the thing is that I personally, when I find myself hesitating or thinking about fear, I immediately go right at it. Now, I evaluate the safety aspect of it. I'm not going to jump off a building, just because it's a great thing that, I'm going to be on TV. It's going to make me rich if I survive. Okay, I'm not going to jump off a building. Common sense would say no. That there's other ways to do this. Taking the quick, easy way, which is jumping off the building, is not the answer. Maybe there's a longer road that you have to hold, but it will get you there in the end in a bigger way. Oh, okay. Well, let's look at that. See if that'll work. Because I certainly don't want to die from quick success. And that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about you dying. We're talking about your business dying because you're trying to achieve greatness so quickly that, once again, it puts a tremendous strain on your time, your family, and your job. And once again, when it's all said and done, if you're going to give up anything, give up this business. Do not give up your family. Do not give up your job. All right. We're the opposite. Marie and I are the opposite. Most people say, no, get away from that job. Blah, blah, job, bad, bad job, bad. Okay. Use the network marketing business model to get out of the job. You don't want to be in the rat race. You don't want to do blah, blah, blah. And you know what? They're right on one hand, but at the same time, your job has a role to play. Let's look at this common sense wise. We advocate that you keep your job and balance the two until your job income is a non-factor anymore. In other words, you're making so much money in your network marketing business that going to work anymore is not worth your time. Okay, because you can spend your time in more valuable things that will give you a greater return on your business. And if you are trying to hold on to that job, you're going to have a split focus. You're going to say, okay, I'm at work and I'm going to do this. And I'm not going to think about the business. I'm just going to do this. And rightfully so, your employer is paying you for 8, 10, 12 hours a day to do what they need to have done. So you should be focused. That should be all you should be doing. But on the other hand, when you get off, you immediately go into the business mode, right? And it's hard to maintain that balance long term. That's the reason why we always advocate you to go full time as soon as you can, but not before you pay off most of your debt and you have 3 months of savings saved up, okay? Because we want you to have a safe exit out of the job and keep the stress as low as possible so that your spouse is not beating you up emotionally and physically for leaving such a good job. And we had an episode not long ago that if you're at year 17 or 18, whatever, and you can retire at the job you're at right now after 20 years, 30 years, whatever, well, guess what? If you're close to retirement, we advocate that you stay with that and build as big a business as you possibly can on a part-time basis, okay? Because you've gone too far to give up the pension that you'll get from your 20 to 30-year commitment with that company or organization. So we are not the type of people that are going to say, no, leave that job. You'll make far more money here. This is network marketing. This is what it's famous for. Don't you know that? Get out of your job. Dedicate your full day to this. If you do, you're going to be great. Well, how many times do you think that story's been told? A lot. Okay. And that's not what you want. You want the ability to have common sense play a huge role in what it is you're going to do. All right. So to summarize, because we've been on here long enough, let's summarize what we've been talking about. We're talking about one of the hardest things you'll ever do. On the surface, it's, hey, building this business is going to be one of the hardest things you're ever going to do, and it's true. Okay, it is. I just talked about it. It's going to drain you emotionally, physically, and spiritually. I'm telling you, it is, doing a 90-day mini blast can be draining. Okay, now your second 90-day mini blast, which is phase 3, if you go that far, is a whole lot easier, because you're like, okay, I can look back at phase 1 and realize where I made mistakes. I can realize I was stressed out and I shouldn't have been. I realized blah. And then you know what? Now I got all that under control, and now I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to stress out saying to myself, does this work? Is this really working? Where are the results? You know what? It did work. I know what to expect. Now I can condense it. I can have success sooner rather than later, because now I've been through phase 1. I know exactly what to do and when to do it. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be more proficient. I'm going to be more effective. And I'm going to make a whole lot more money in phase 3 than I did in phase 1. Okay. That is a wonderful thing to have. But the whole point of that is phase 1 gets you to phase 3. It's easier in phase 3 because you go through hell in phase 1. All right. In phase 1, not only challenges you business-wise, maybe dealing with people on a massive scale as your first time dealing with those number of people and the type of people, the extreme type A's and people that try to make you feel guilty with their words, people that quit, people that do nothing, people that leave. All of that is going to challenge you. Okay. And it's just that you got to get up every day and do what? CCBBA. Okay. So, and once again, in summarization, you're going to have one of the hardest, most difficult things you're ever going to do in your life in building this business and utilizing the 90-day mini blast. Just do what you can do today, and then get up tomorrow and do what you can do tomorrow. CCBBA every day. Just concentrate on CCBBA every day, and just do as many as you can. Some days are going to be better than others, and you just have to keep plugging along. All right. So building this business is going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done. It's going to tax you on every front. Handling success is going to be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. When you have that big success, you will not believe the other challenges it brings into your life. If you've never had that money before, now you're having to learn money management. You're having to learn to be responsible. Should we buy that? Is this business going to continue to pump out this kind of money? If I spend every penny I have, guess what? And the company goes out of business, I am flat on my back. I may be material rich, but I'm cash poor because I've been spending the money as quick as I get it. All right. Once again, it's one of the hardest things you ever had to do because you're being forced in phase 1 and 2 to address issues you probably never had to address before on a scale that you never had to address before. Okay. You changing as a person is going to be the hardest part of this. If you're going to be successful, you have to learn to work with people. You have to learn to have the proper personality, the proper presence, the proper posture. You're not always going to get along with the people in your downline, but you have to learn to get along with them. You have to learn to listen. Okay, that goes a long way, to listen. And you know what? If you do these things, it makes the job easier for you. It keeps your stress down as much as possible. And it also helps your people, because they're saying, you know what, I had a problem. He was at least willing to listen. All right. He may not have known what to do, but at least he listened and he was trying his best. All right. And so you're going to have situations where you're going to be challenged every step of the way in phase 1 and 2. And those challenges could wear you down to where you say, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. This is freaking me out. This is stressing me out. I need to go over here and drink me some drinks, or I need to go over here and take a couple of totes on a joint, whatever. Okay, because I am stressed out. Once again, these are going to come your way. And doing this business as a whole, okay, because when you get successful, you got a whole new set of challenges. Remember, identify and work with your leaders. Guys, working with leaders is not an easy thing to do. We've done multiple episodes on that because we understand the challenges that come with working some of these leaders. Okay, they have strong personalities. Sometimes they can be very demanding. And that can really tax your relationship. And the thing is, you have to learn to what? To be a mediator. You have to learn to be what? A great listener. You have to learn to do what? Be a counselor. Okay. You have to understand and learn how to deal with different personalities and how to smooth things over. Okay. How to be there for someone else instead of your family. In other words, if you're at a soccer event for your son and you get a call and it's one of your big time leaders down line, guess what? You're going to have to take that call, even though your son is playing soccer. And here's the thing. Today's technology, you can utilize the phone, tablet, whatever. You can make that call while you're sitting there watching, and you just tell them, say, hey, look, I'm at a live event with my son, supporting him. Every once in a while, I'm going to have to ask you to repeat what you said to make sure I understand it. But that's the beauty of technology in this business. We can do this, okay? And the reason I give you that example on how to handle that situation, because I want to show you, despite the challenges, the physical and mental challenges you're going to face, there are easy, common sense ways out of them that keep your your stress level to a minimum, and to address the issues in a professional and efficient manner without putting yourself in an early grave with a heart attack or a stroke. Okay, over the worries that you have and the stress you have over this business. How do you do that? Each and every day, CCBBA. That's it. Just do the 5 simple steps over and over and over and over. Okay. And deal with problems as they come up. And if you have to cancel with your upline leadership, you can contact us and we can help you through some of that. We do not interfere with active people in an upline leadership situation. It's not our job to circumvent your leadership. It's not our job to override or to badmouth, take over, whatever. If you contact us, say, hey, I want you guys to help me. I don't want to work with my leaders because they don't know what they're doing. We can talk about that. That's a decision you have to make because it's your business. But for the most part, we just flat out will not get involved because we do not want the reputation that we're meddling with other people's downline. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. But if you're a leader and you've built a nice organization and struggling, we can certainly step in and help out because you've proven that you are the head of that organization on your own activity, your own merit. So once again, guys, you have to realize that this business is going to challenge you unlike anything else you've ever done. I'm telling you from personal experience, I had to change as a person. I told you I was introverted. As I told you, I was good at time management. I was good at managing things because I was in the military and I was moving up in rank. And like anything else, you go up in rank, your responsibilities get greater and greater. And you have to be you have to be able to communicate with people well. You have to be able to be prompt wherever you go. You have to be professional. You have to be a great listener before you're ever a great speaker. Okay. You have to be a problem solver. You have to address issues no matter how unpleasant they may be. And anybody who's been in management has been there and done that. But the same things apply in your network marketing business. Okay. And if you think about it as in a total sense, it can be overwhelming. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to build a big business. What Rob's talking about is going to freak me out. I cannot handle that. There is no way. I am now scared to death. I'm officially scared to death. I thought building a big business was going to be easy. It is. You're playing games in your head. Look, you're going to have challenges whether you have a big business or small business because you're dealing with people. Okay. And the thing is that you have to realize, well, if I'm going to deal with people, I'd like to be paid a lot of money to do so versus a little bit of money. And so there you go. You have to make that decision once again on how you're going to handle these situations as they arise. If you can mentally prepare yourself now as you start building your own business building process, you're going to be miles ahead of your peers. Okay. And because most people don't even give any thought to these things at all. All right. So in closing, yes, it's going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done. But the hardest thing is going to be you changing so that you can become the person and the leader you need to be to lead a large organization of go-getters. Okay. And then handling success. Handling it in a professional manner, in a humble way, goes a long way in stabilizing your business, giving you a chance for longevity, giving you big money. Okay. People do not like a brash, overconfident, bragging success person. That usually goes away rather quickly. It does happen when someone can be that, but they push so many people away with their attitude and their words. And the people that do stick around don't have a very good opinion of themselves, because nobody would allow themselves to be around somebody that's so abrasive, so verbal, and is all about me, 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 me. Most people are definitely turned away on that, and you don't want to become that, because once again, you're going to make your business, you work so hard to put it together, very vulnerable, because you're going to push people away if you have that kind of attitude. Other leaders in your downline, once they understand how the business works, will be like, I ain't putting up with Rob. I'm done with that. I've done it for the last 18 months, and this dude has wore me out. I am out of here. We're in constant turmoil and constant communication because Rob is so difficult to deal with. He does not have a good moral compass here. Okay. Once again, you're making the business much harder than it needs to be. Guys, you don't want to do that. So if you said, Rob, what do I do? Just do one thing at a time. CCBBA, remain humble, and just work hard. Don't think about the price you got to pay. Don't think about how long it's going to take. Don't think about any of that. Just get up every day, look at your goal sheets, do the CCBBA, and be humble. If you're willing to help other people and you remain humble, you're going to go a long way in this business. And that's how you overcome these challenges. So you just got to make your decision right now. Look, it's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be hard. There is no doubt. And only you can determine whether it's actually the hardest thing you ever done. But I can personally tell you, for me, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I've done some hard things. But I can say that because as an overall picture, in other words, when I sit down and reflect, there is no doubt that this was the hardest thing, because there were so many challenges and changes that had to be addressed, and that had to happen and take place in order for me to reach the level that I wanted. Okay. And that's going to apply to you as well. And I had a lot of personal things I had to overcome. I was very introverted, very quiet, and had limited time, as you can imagine. So the thing is, I had a lot to overcome, but I was determined, and I found the way. All right, guys, with that being said, I'm going to get ready to hop off here. If you will, please look at what tomorrow's subject, one of the most satisfying things you'll ever do. Of course, on the surface, that's like, hey, you built a successful business. Man, this is great. This is wonderful. This is satisfying. That's right. You're absolutely right in that. You should celebrate that. You should be proud of it. You should take great satisfaction. But there's so much more when it comes to the most satisfying thing you'll ever do. And we'll talk about those things tomorrow as well. So go back. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. I know I went a few little circles there when I would circle back around, but I was trying to drive these points home. When Marie's here, she helps really crystallize those points. When I'm on my own, I got to circle back around to make sure that I did not leave anything out, and to make sure that you guys got the points I was making. Once again, you have to realize that this business is going to be a challenge. It's not the hard work. It's what's up here. And it will be, without a doubt, one of the hardest things you've ever done. All right, guys, if you will, once again, please help us out. Tomorrow's subject matter, there it is. Tomorrow's one of the most satisfying things I said. And if you will, not support, I don't know why. Woo, man, I'm all over the place. All right, themlmsolution.net. Please visit our website, hashtag themlmsolution. Please utilize that. Share that hashtag with a fellow network marketers all across the globe when you're out on the internet. Okay, you run into them, say, hey, man, check this stuff out. It's really good stuff. The algorithms love that engagement. You help us get the word out. We're so grateful for that. Please help us make that happen. All right. So once again, tomorrow's episode, as you can tell, is going to be one of the most satisfying things you'll ever do. With that being said, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, guys, join us live. And we will be careful, take care, and we will be here as well. tongue twister. Struggling today. All right, guys. Take care. God bless. We'll see you soon. Thank you for joining us today. And if you will, as you go, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, or the get notified button on our various social media platforms. Thank you.